Hey everyone, how's it going? And welcome back. I'm actually really excited today because I'm going to be planting my very first plants into our polytunnel, my strawberries. Welcome to the polytunnel. I know it doesn't look much at the moment and it looks, well, to put it nicely, it's a bit of a mess, but it's perfectly situated and it's absolutely massive, so it's as much as I'm ever going to need. The other thing is that my plan is that it's going to sit at the end of a new vegetable garden that I'm going to build. The people that we've bought the house off haven't used this polytunnel for growing stuff in years, so it's going to need a good old clear out, it's going to need a renovation, and my plan is that I'm going to put in some nice raised beds and make this space a really productive one. But it's still really difficult to get stuff, particularly materials like timber and nails and things like that. So I'm not going to waste time. What I'm going to do is I'm still going to plant stuff that can be productive this year. It just means that any planter I use is going to have to be movable and temporary. And I think I've got exactly what I need up in the shed. Welcome to the messiest place on earth, also known as our shed, where for the last 6 months we've dumped all of our shit that we had nowhere else to put. And yeah, check it out. Either way, the plan is that it's going to turn into a potting shed. That's what I want to do with it, but that's for another day. But the reason I'm here is to pick up this. It's an old chest of drawers that the previous occupants left in the garage. We've got absolutely no use for it, and I think that the drawers are going to be good. So they're not huge, but I think they'll do nicely for the strawberries. All of these strawberries didn't cost me a penny to grow because I propagated them from runners. Now, there's a bit of a story behind them because in our last house, our neighbours grew strawberries, but they were up against the fence that joined the two gardens. And what ended up happening was the strawberries put out runners through the fence that, well, to be honest, I ended up pinching. I tried to poke them back through the fence, but it didn't really work. So what I did instead was I pinned them into little pots of compost, and over time they start to grow, and then you can cut them off the main plant and they form lovely little individual plants. So I've been overwintering these in the house, in the conservatory, just to give them a little bit of extra TLC to get them through the winter because they are small. But now it's time for them to really get planted up. So as well as all of those strawberries, I've also got these 4 pots, and these strawberries really do mean something to me because when I was a kid, my grandma and grandpa at the top of their garden had a greenhouse that was pretty much dedicated to strawberries. Either side, inside of the greenhouse, were little beds, and in those beds were dozens and dozens of these strawberries. I remember being a kid and being given a little plastic bowl and going up the garden to collect strawberries that we'd have later. And I don't know whether it was just that I was collecting them myself or whether it's memory, but the taste was amazing. Everybody in the family loved them. But then Grandma and Grandpa stopped growing strawberries quite a while ago, and back then I didn't really think to take runners or to take some of the plants. So as far as I was concerned, they were gone. And then I realised recently that my aunt had taken some and she's been keeping them going for the last few years, and she's very kindly given me 4 of the plants. So when I got them, rather than leaving them outside, and I know they would have been fine outside, but I brought them in. They've basically lived in the conservatory all of the autumn, the winter and the spring until now. So they're going to be planted separately. They're going to get just as much TLC, but I'm really hoping that the taste is going to be as good as I remember. So back down at the polytunnel, I've got the drawers brought down. So first thing is to pet the cat. He doesn't belong to us, but we call him Tux. And have a biscuit and a cup of coffee. So I'm not planning on lining these drawers with anything. For starters, even if I was to line them with plastic, strawberries aren't like an aquatic plant. They don't want to be sitting in water all of the time. So I'm still going to need to be puncturing holes in that plastic anyway. So when they get watered, the water's going to run through and wet this anyway. The other thing is that the drawers are surprisingly sturdy, and for what I need them for, where they're really just going to be sitting, only moved very occasionally, and they may only be temporary, I think this is going to be absolutely fine. So my plan is that I'll drill about 6 or 8 holes into each and then start filling them with compost. There we go. Perfect. 1 drawer down, 5 to go. So I've filled the drawer with my favourite mix, part compost, part John Innes topsoil, which will be perfect for the strawberries. And then strawberry plants need about 30 centimetres apart, so they've got a decent root run and plenty of room to grow between them. So what I'm going to do then is stagger 4 to a drawer and stagger them like this. That spacing should work out quite nicely. It's also very handy because I've got 20 strawberry plants in total and 5 drawers. I'm firming each of the strawberries in by hand, making sure that the compost doesn't bury the crown. All that's needed now is a quick tidy up to remove some of the older leaves. And the leaves can go into my homemade hot composter. So there you go. Took a little bit of time, but now they're all finished. All the planters are done, and I think they look great. I'm absolutely delighted actually. Now, I just got to find somewhere for them to go. If you're doing something similar, let me know in the comments down below. So if you've enjoyed this, make sure to hit the like button and make sure to hit subscribe. You'll make me one very happy person. And also make sure to hit the little bell icon, and then you'll get a notification when I publish my next video. So until the next time, see you later.